Hello, welcome to First Thoughts. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre,
I'm Austin Johnson.
and this is a recap of the 96th Academy Awards, which just ended about 40 minutes ago, and we are very pleased with how this all turned out. A few surprises, a few obvious wins that we all saw coming. In our ballot, Austin took the win with 18. I came in second with 14, and the rest of my family did not win.
Uh,
I I saw almost all of these films. This was the closest I've ever come to a clean sweep. I was so proud of myself for pulling that off. I watched all the shorts. I've never done that before. But thanks to Netflix putting To Kill a Tiger on their service the day of the Academy Awards, fuck you for that. And also Io Capitano not being available to watch yet in the United States. I missed it by 2 films.
yeah, that includes the shorts.
Yeah, those were a pain in the ass. I had to go see them in theaters. That's it. I had to go see them in theaters. I guess it wasn't that much of a pain.
Yeah, because if you see if you see the 10 Best Picture nominees, you're gonna knock out a ton of other categories, and
That's true.
that's really a good place to start, right? Is if you want to knock out a bunch, but then you got your randoms, the color purple, and
Yeah, your El Conde, your Golda, your
yeah,
Nimona, Robot Dreams, all your documentaries, your international films. It's a haul. This took me a few months.
dedication, focus.
Yeah, sheer will.
Once the nominations came out, I believe January 23rd is when they came out.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember you were like, I'm gonna get this done. Like it's possible. You saw a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, I've never met anybody who's gotten that close to knocking him out. Last year it broke me because of, or was it 2 years ago? Blonde.
Oh, yeah, that was last year.
Last year, yeah. We both were like, let's knock out all of them. And as I was watching Blonde,
Yeah.
I had an epiphany of like, what am I doing? Why?
Yeah.
So, movies like The Color Purple didn't really interest me too much, or The Creator didn't interest me too much. I knew I wasn't going to make the clean sweep because I don't go to the theater very often. I wasn't going to see the shorts. So I was like, I'm not going to try to get, 75% of the way there when I know I can't get all the way there.
So I decided to take the role of Samwise Gamgee carrying Frodo out the side of Mount Doom at the end of Return of the King. That was me. I decided I'm going to carry this for both of us, and I almost got it. That's going to bother me forever. I'm still going to finish them off once I have access to them. It's 2 movies,
dude. I still haven't even seen Avatar from last year, best picture nominee. So like, it's okay.
This was a good bunch of films though for the most part. There are only a couple of films here that I really just didn't care for. Golda, for instance. Like, why is that here? This was the year of the fake nose.
Golda, and I remember which one is it? Cinematography. El Conde?
Oh, that movie was fucking garbage.
Yeah, I remember you being like, that was trash.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I've seen the other 4 from the cinematography group, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna like break my back to watch this.
A lot of these were like, thankfully, it didn't seem like much of a chore because most of these ended up being really good.
Yeah.
With some exceptions, but that always happens. Next year, calling it now, I'm gonna do this.
Yes.
97th Academy Awards.
Just wait.
I'm gonna see everything before the fuck. I don't care if I have to fly to Italy and buy a movie ticket in an Italian theater to watch that movie. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. I believe you.
I'm gonna call you one day, like, hey, I'm in Paris.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
Yeah, but as an award show, I thought this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Only a couple times where I was rolling my eyes, and just kind of like, oh, okay, here we go. But to me, one of the most unique touches I've seen in a long time. First off, I'll get this out of the way. I normally do not care for the performances of the best song nominees. This year, I can handle it, and because Ryan Gosling did what he did, I was like, this is okay. I'll take that, I'll take that with
It
which
was
was
it was Knuff. It was.
it was
Uh,
connected. Christoph Waltz, that was great. Okay, so that great segue. Bring up Christoph Waltz. The touch of having five past winners from the best lead actor, lead actress, supporting actress present the nominees was bone chilling. For nerds like Connor and I who have seen those movies, you do the homework of watching Blue Sky, starring Jessica Lange, and Tommy Lee Jones. And Jessica Lange won Best Actress for that in 1994 when she takes the stage, and she also won for Tootsie, I believe,
yes.
for supporting actress.
Mhm.
You know why they're there. Rita Moreno and Matthew McConaughey and Sam Rockwell and Forrest Whitaker, Nicolas fucking Cage. When you see those people, you know why they're there and like what they won for.
Yeah.
It is a very cool kind of it's kind of a thing for fans like us.
Yeah.
To have that moment of, oh my God, Nicolas Cage is talking to Paul Giamatti. You know what I mean? And that I thought that was brilliant. It might and the show ran a little over 3 hours, like I think like 3:20. And they added that thing. I want them to do that every year now. Is bring on those five past winners to kind of make it feel more elevated.
I agree. I liked that. It felt more personable. This year, I feel like because of the whole Barbie Oppenheimer thing, the films were more accessible than ever before. It seemed like more people were paying attention.
Mm,
But also the show seemed way more catered to film fans for once.
yeah.
And I really appreciated that.
Michael Keaton, Catherine O'Hara coming out,
Yeah,
Schwarzenegger and DeVito coming out. Those aren't
the whole Batman bit was
Yeah,
fucking perfect.
the John Cena thing. Like those extra bits were actually pretty rewarding and not, you know, like Beetlejuice is an Oscar nominated movie.
Yeah.
But like them doing the whole Batman bit, Batman Returns and Batman and Robin, those aren't movies you think of when you think of the Oscars.
Yeah.
They're movies. They're popcorn. They're proper entertainment, movies.
Yeah.
As superhero shit, genre stuff. So it felt cool that they were doing that while also allowing them to hand out awards. So I thought that was really cool. Chris Hemsworth, Anya Taylor-Joy doing something together. I thought that was great. So I thought the combinations of the people were good. Melissa McCarthy, Octavia Spencer, I thought they were good duos that took the stage together. So overall, as far as presenting and the kind of the point A to point B in between stuff was actually bearable. And that makes the show easy to watch. The 3 hours went by really fast.
Yeah. The only bit that I could have I didn't really need was the weird tequila thing. I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel Live, so I didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
But the second he said Coleman Flamingo, I was on board.
Yeah, and that was an ad for Don Julio. Yeah. That was free advertisement for Don Julio. Yeah. Guillermo doing that bit was and it actually ended up being kind of funny. And the John Cena thing, if that is someone else, might have gone very poorly, but he is so charismatic and so funny. And he fucking went for it. That guy is a monster. And he quite frankly went naked on stage and it was hilarious. So
I can't wait for all the memes where it was like I couldn't even see him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wear jorts. Yeah.
That's worse than naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all that kind of, mumbo jumbo stuff actually kind of worked this year, which typically it does not at all.
Yeah.
Some of those jokes don't land. The John Mulaney Field of Dreams bit was incredible. I thought Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo actually did a swell job kind of presenting the score and song. I just thought all those decisions were made correctly. So
yeah,
hats off to the Academy.
Yeah, and this was Kimmel's fourth Oscars hosting, I think.
At least, yeah.
And every year he does a really good job handling this crowd. His jokes are always on point. They're not too offensive to cause up controversy. There's not going to be any, slap moments. We need a guy like that. I think after seeing Mulaney, kill it with that Field of Dreams bit, I want to see him host next year.
Oh my God, yeah.
That'd be hilarious. The pot shots that Kimmel was taking at Downey at the beginning were a bit oh boy. But Downey took him in stride.
Downey is the guy who can handle that, take that, and then he made his own joke about his childhood trauma.
Yeah,
I thought Downey handled everything really well. The only person that looked disappointed was De Niro, and not disappointed. He looked like he just wanted to be home.
Yeah, him and Scorsese,
like 90.
Him and Scorsese were both like, "Why are we here?"
Yeah,
which I get. At that age, you don't need to show up.
Yeah, and speaking of showing up, I, I have a feeling that we know what Leo is up to, but him not being there to support Lily Gladstone felt like off.
Mm,
But I think he's filming that Paul Thomas Anderson movie
yeah,
as we speak, and so maybe he's busy doing
probably.
other stuff. But you feel like you would be able to be like, hey, I'm gonna set aside some hours to like go support this movie that I went to bat for so hard when it came out, and like these are things I believe in. And Lily is someone he's been like right next to. I feel like the whole award circuit, and then at the biggest one, he's not there. I was confused by that.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's, circumstances. I'm getting a time off from filming is not easy.
Probably not. Yeah, and Wes Anderson wasn't even there to accept probably it's going to be his only Oscar ever, most likely,
Yeah.
for Henry Sugar. And he wasn't even there. He's probably filming a movie in fucking Spain or something. So, these people are working.
Yeah. Let's start there, actually. Let's go through these categories and
Yeah.
see who won. Live action short. The winner was The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, Wes Anderson's Roald Dahl adaptation with Netflix. That is about a man reading a book about a guy who read a book about a guy who knew how to do some weird magic.
Yeah.
Uh, it's it's quirky, it's cute, and this was one of the guarantees of the night. I think we all kind of saw this coming.
Yeah, it's like a 45-minute. It feels like a TV episode almost. Like it's that long and a star-studded cast. He get that my favorite thing about Wes Anderson is he can get people for like 5 minutes. They're like, I just want to be in your thing.
Yeah,
Be on the production.
he can get Rafe Fiennes, Benedict Cumberbatch, Ben Kingsley, Dev Patel to just do a 40-minute short film for Netflix.
Yep. That's power. But yeah, that was obvious that was gonna
Mhm.
win.
Animated short went to War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko, which was just fantastic. I got to see the animated shorts and the live action shorts in a special screening at Alamo Drafthouse. I'm so glad I did that. Uh, this is the only animated short of the group that made me cry.
Oh, there you
It
go.
was very touching. I was pretty sure Letter to a Pig was going to take this one because it's a very dark short film about the Holocaust, and I don't know, just something told me that was going to take it. Yeah, 95 Senses was cute and sad. Our Uniform could have been more, and Pachyderm was fucking horrifying if you can read through the subtext. But War is Over was great. I'm glad that took the win.
Oh yeah, good
I
stuff.
also learned that John and Yoko's kid looks identical to John and sounds like an amalgamation of John and Yoko. So that was
Yeah,
weird.
it was like so obvious that that's their offspring. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a little concerning.
even did the peace sign. You're like, oh my God, that's him, that's them.
Documentary short went to The Last Repair Shop, which is on Disney Plus. It's about a local instrument repair shop somewhere. I think it was LA, that specializes in fixing kids' instruments who can't afford to get their instruments fixed.
Hmm.
So good for them.
Shout out to Ben Proudfoot, the man, the myth, the legend. He's been nominated twice now in the that category, and I hope he is able to make a feature-length film soon.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Um, where do you want to go next? I guess
No, those are the shorts.
yeah.
I don't know, because yeah, the this
Yeah, the ballot we're using is all over the place. I don't know what we're just gonna go from top to bottom. It doesn't matter. Best actor.
yeah, fuck it, yeah, fuck it, Murphy, come on.
Cillian Murphy took this. I think we all kind of expected that. I was holding out hope for Paul Giamatti, but Oppenheimer was just on an unstoppable roll
Yeah,
this season, and I love Cillian Murphy to death. I think he's fantastic. So I'm very happy that he's now an Academy Award winner.
me too. Has a nice ring to it. It's beautiful. First nomination, first win, just way past due for the career he's put together.
Yeah, for sure. I have to finish Peaky Blinders.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. 6 seasons deep, but they're short seasons, so.
Yeah. After I got through the Sam Neill story, and then I lost interest.
That's fair.
Yeah, but
Because he's so good. Sam
great.
Neill is
I've
amazing.
never seen him play a character like that before.
Yeah.
Just a sadistic piece of shit,
Yeah.
powerful man.
But then you get, like Tom Hardy's amazing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love.
I'm gonna have
The
to,
ending is awesome.
at this point, I'm gonna have to start over because it's been a long time.
I've been thinking about rewatching it because it's been a minute since I've seen those older ones.
Yeah. Best actor in a supporting role, Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer, another
Yeah.
guarantee.
Good speech.
Just seems like the perfect cap for maybe the greatest Hollywood comeback of all time.
Yeah, I loved when Sam Rockwell did the kind of Tropic Thunder bit.
That was
I
great.
love the way he talked about him. I love how he said for Chaplin he learned how to play violin with his left hand, and he said that's obnoxious.
Who does that?
You're one of those annoying like overachiever actors. Yeah, so it's cool to see RDJ get his due as
Yeah.
well.
It was also funny just for the Marvel people to watch Justin Hammer have to praise Tony Stark yet again.
Yes, well, Thor was backstage. Yeah, yeah, and
No,
Hulk is somewhere in the like third row.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He beat Hulk. He beat Killmonger's dad. He beat well, Gosling and De Niro haven't done it yet.
yeah. Killmonger's dead. I didn't even think about that. That's great.
Um, but yeah, it was neat to see Downey get that kind of recognition, and he deserves it after everything he overcame. People, our generation doesn't remember the original Robert Downey Jr.,
Mm,
the
yeah,
wild party guy who got caught with a
the
bunch of drugs in Vegas
yeah.
and served time.
Yeah, the guy who like at first second his future was like Saturday Night Live, and then he fucked that up.
Yep.
Yeah, yep,
And then he
yep.
got an Oscar nomination for Chaplin. Fuck that up too.
Yeah.
And then served time, came back, was the bad guy in the Shaggy Dog, and then Paramount gave him a chance as Iron Man, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I like to think that his next phase of his career, as he goes into his 60s and as he becomes kind of an older, an elder of the acting community, I can't wait to see what else he does because yeah, I thought he was excellent in Oppenheimer. So
He is going to play some foxy grandpas.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
still a great looking guy. Yeah,
Best actress. This was the shock of the night. Uh, Emma Stone for Poor Things. Emma Stone becomes a two-time Academy Award winner with this, and she, I think, expected it less than anybody.
yeah. This obviously was Lily Gladstone had her name written all over it, but Emma Stone has been winning other stuff, and I think her odds had started to kind of rise and rise. I mean, Sandra Hüller, Carey Mulligan, and Annette Bening never had a chance.
No.
This was a, kind of a David versus Goliath situation, and David just got bigger and bigger as the award season went on, and Emma Stone. And, I love Lily Gladstone. I think she's about to have a really cool kind of, explosion as far as, becoming like a household name.
Yeah.
But Emma Stone has like proven herself time and time again, and I think this is her best performance ever. So, she is unbelievable in Poor Things. Feels very, very much no one else can do this type thing, and she's reached kind of a rare air. When you win 2 Oscars, and I think she's been nominated like 4 or 5 times already.
Yeah.
I, she's not even 40 yet. She is certainly going to reach 3 at some point, and that puts you at a table there's not very many people at it.
Yeah, there's only a handful of actresses who have the possibility of equaling or surpassing, which would be fucking crazy, Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah. Yeah, or even being at the table with 3-time winners, Jack Nicholson and Daniel Day-Lewis and, Frances McDormand and
Bergman.
Meryl Streep, Bergman, and yeah, you mentioned Katharine Hepburn. Like, that's a pretty special table to be at, and Emma Stone's gonna do it.
Yeah, especially if she keeps working with Yorgos.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's like surefire Oscar nomination written all over it.
Hell yeah. Supporting actress, Davine Joy Randolph took that one.
Obvious.
First one of the night. The only love the holdovers got. Yeah, she was fantastic in that.
Yeah, and that's always a great way to start the show, right? Is doing one of the supporting categories and to get something big on the table, get people excited. And that's when we saw, Lupita Nyong'o and these different ladies who have won supporting in the past. And we were like, oh, that's a cool touch. And they just did it for all 4 acting categories. And we just got more and more excited as it went on. Yeah, that was really special. And what was said about Davine was really cool, and what she said in her speech, only she could conjure up. So she's excellent. And if I had to pick one thing from Holdovers, I think like its screenplay is really strong, and I think their performances are really strong. But she's, Paul Giamatti's great, but she's going toe to toe with him that whole movie, and she's borderline a best actress.
Yeah. Well, her story is just so remarkably torturous in this movie, and she's kind of the counterpart to Giamatti's, very compared to her problems, his problems are fuck all. And so is the kid. Like, she's the one with the real life destroying situation here. And I think throughout the movie, they all realize that their problems don't matter when compared to losing a child. And, that kind of helps them realize that they're kind of being shitty people and to get over that. But
Yeah.
she's the heart of the movie.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
My favorite before we move to animated,
Yeah.
my favorite bit from that nomination thing was Rita Moreno talking to America. That was like,
that was a good
wow.
touch. I like that. I don't even like West Side Story, but I love that.
You know, because you could tell they were trying to kind of match them up in some way.
Yeah.
Like when Mahershala Ali did the Mark Ruffalo bit, it felt like Mahershala was like, "Can I have?" It felt like he was like, "Can I volunteer myself to do the Ruffalo bit?" And the way he talked to him, like at him, was really unique. And the way Rita Moreno talked to America was like, "Oh man, this is a moment," and like brought everybody to tears 5 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
This is a great way to kind of get us going.
It was.
And then they did the animated bits, and that was Hemsworth and Anya Taylor-Joy,
Yeah.
which was, The Boy and the Heron won. I was shocked Spider-Man didn't win, but I'm tired of the animated category being pushed to the side.
Yeah.
Like it's not just as important as everything else. I don't know. They didn't really make a thing of it. It's disappointing.
Yeah.
These are good movies.
It is.
This is a good group.
It's still like as of now, until they create the best casting category, this is the newest Oscar category.
Yeah.
So
there's now only been 23 winners ever.
It's the only category where I have actually seen every winner.
And almost every nominee, you know, you go down the line, you've seen a shit ton of them.
Yeah. But I think because it's still new, compared to the rest of these categories, I think there's still this kind of kids table mentality with it, where it's something for your kids, and But Boy and the Heron, I didn't care for, but I get it. It's Miyazaki's probably last movie,
and he wasn't even there.
He wasn't there because
he's not probably drawing.
Yeah, he's in Japan. Like, oh, the Oscars were tonight. Great, and they'll mail him his statue, and he'll put it right next to Spirited Away.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
But Nimona and Robot Dreams were the best movies here.
Really, over Spider-Man.
Over Spider-Man.
Oh man,
by far.
I love Nimona, but yeah, Spider-Man just felt like such an event. Like
it did. Robot Dreams.
I can't wait to see that. Fuck.
So I've seen over 3,000 films in my lifetime. I've seen a lot of different genres. I've seen horror movies that fucked me up. I've seen dramas that made me cry. I've seen comedies that made me laugh so hard. My favorite films ever are films about friendship. There is the Shawshank Redemption, Back to the Future. They all have an element of an unbreakable friendship that is the heart of the movie. And Robot Dreams had that. It made me want to, I wanted to find you and Caleb and give you guys huge hugs because I was like, friendship fucking matters.
Yeah.
I see it as the purest, form of love on the planet. I really do. And Robot Dreams just brought that out in me. And I was like, this is touching as hell. And I love this.
Yeah. God, I cannot wait to see this. I've only seen photographs from it, and of course the little bit they did tonight at the show.
Yeah,
it just I saw one picture and I was like, oh, it looks up my alley.
It's cool. It's like a PG-13 Zootopia kind of thing,
man.
With a robot
and a dog.
Robot and
unlikely unlikely friends. That's great.
It was
so they did that and animated short back to back, bang bang, knocked them out.
They both kind of got they got playing off move along, we got real categories to talk about.
Maybe you know what, maybe they know that Miyazaki's not even there, because last year when Del Toro won it, Guillermo del Toro, they made a thing of it.
Yeah,
and this is Guillermo. This is one of our.
That's true. They wouldn't play off
Miyazaki's there.
They would not play off Miyazaki
because he is one of the icons of the 21st century and late 20th century.
Yeah,
and he's one of the one of the filmmakers that fans just idolize and kind of latch onto. And has made dozens of great movies. So maybe that's kind of why they did it that way. They knew he's not even there.
That's true.
Because I remember last year, Guillermo, he got his moment.
He did
to talk and shine and give a speech, and everybody's like, oh, let's give the flowers to this guy. That's one of our greatest international filmmakers ever.
It's true. And I also just realized why this ballot seems to be inconsistent in the way it's listing the categories. This fucker's alphabetical. So
let's keep rolling with it.
That's us being idiots and not noticing that.
Cinematography.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Cinematography. I think that was a given.
Yep.
The way that film...
Hoyt van Hoytema.
Yep.
Yeah. He was great. Cool shoes. When they won Best Picture, he had his phone out videoing. I'm like, the cinematographer videoing. That's fitting with his pink phone. Yeah. I saw that, Hoyt.
Hoyt. Yeah, that movie looks incredible. Filming finding the humanity in a inhuman situation is tough,
Mm.
and that starts with the camera.
Yeah, and he's for the past few years, I can just look at what I can think of is he did Dunkirk, he was nominated for that. He did Ad Astra, which I don't really like, but it looks fucking incredible.
Yeah.
He did Nope, Jordan Peele's Nope from
Oh,
last year.
yeah.
And he did this one, obviously, Oppenheimer. So like the guy's got a cool like recent resume. I'm glad he got his flowers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Uh, Costume design. Poor Things took this one.
So poor things. You want to go ahead and talk about the three? It won literally back to back to back to back. Like
Yeah,
the poor things people just kept going on stage.
it took costume, it took production design, and it took makeup.
All
Yeah.
like in a row. Within 15 minutes, I was like, oh my God, poor things just racked up. It's a multiple Oscar winner
Yep.
movie. And that doesn't really surprise me because I think it was up for 11 altogether.
Yeah.
Man, I watched Poor Things like hours before the show started. Oh my God, just immediately became like my favorite thing of the past year.
I'm not gonna lie. While I was driving up here, we did this at my family's place. While I was driving up here, I remember thinking like, "Oh wow, I hope Austin has enough time to watch Poor Things."
I did. So I was gonna watch it because it came out on Hulu like March 6th or 7th.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, like I'll watch it. Like I remember I was at work and I'll watch it when I get home. Because I'm like so amped for this movie. My brother Jeremy, shout out to him, love you to death, and his girlfriend Alex also love you to death. They both were like, how the fuck have you not seen Poor Things? Like over because they came and visited, not too long ago,
No.
a few weeks ago, and they kept hounding me about Poor Things. Like, how have you not? You're the Yorgos guy. Like you've seen everything he's done. You've seen Canetta, like this bad movie from 2005 that no one cares about. And I'm like, yeah, he's probably to me the best director alive right now that's in his prime. And they're like, how have you not seen Poor Things? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't go to the theater very often. Like, I just haven't gone to see it. And also, when my wife wants to see something, I'm gonna try to make that happen.
Yeah.
I don't like going to see things without her if she wants to see it. So there was one night I had free time. And I was like, I need to knock out American Fiction, Zone of Interest, and Poor Things. This was like 2 weeks ago. And she was like, don't you dare go see American Fiction or Poor Things. And I was like, I'll go see Zone of Interest. So I saw Zone of Interest in theaters by myself because she was like, I'm not that interested in that one. American Fiction, we rented it, watched it, both loved it. And then Poor Things, we watched today, and she got disinterested after like 30 minutes. And I was like, God damn it. Because it is so weird, so bizarre. To get 11 nominations is a feat unto itself. And then to get 4 wins is like, oh man, that's so cool that a movie that bizarre, that out there, that committed can win stuff. I was so happy to see people keep going on stage for that movie.
Yeah, I love when the out there shit takes stuff away from the stuff. Sure.
One of the only like genre movies in the whole bunch, right? Like it is fucking weird.
And it deserved all 3 of those wins.
Yeah. And Emma Stone is excellent. So that's the 4th win, the big one.
I was certain costume and production design were going to be snaked by Barbie. I was really shocked by that.
Barbie only got song.
It did. It only got song, and not even the right song.
Yeah. After Gosling crushed it. Yeah.
All right. Next up, director Nolan. It was his time. We all saw that coming.
Yeah, I think the only other person who could have snaked out is Glazer for Zone of Interest. I think that got like some wheels started turning.
Yeah.
But I think voting had ended already, so like it was too late. I want to say voting ended like about a month ago, and sometimes a movie gains steam a little too late in the race. And Nolan goes up there, does his thing, flicks his little weird side swoop in his hair. And he's weird. He's an auteur. He's his own. He's like literally his own thing, his own style. So people could say he defines, as far as directors go, he might be the one who defines the 21st century. He's got so many bangers. I'm not a huge fan. I like pretty much everything he's done, but I don't love a lot of it. But I love Oppenheimer, and I'll never forget seeing that in theaters and just being so blown away by the detail of every fucking frame.
My experience with Oppenheimer was delightful. It was a hell of a just watching that in a full house with like, you could hear a pin drop at those right moments. But the most memorable part of that night for me was right before the movie, where the trailers came up and the Exorcist Believer trailer played. And the guy next to me suddenly took that as an opportunity to just tell me like, oh, I can't go see that. I have plans that day. And I'm like, well, A, I don't know you, and B, it's not a 1 day event, sir. So I don't know what the hell that was, but it was the thing I remember the most from that evening because that's weird. This turn to
Uh,
somebody you've never met and be like, well, I can't do that.
yeah.
Like,
By the way,
just
I can't go see that shitty sequel of one of the best horror movies
in
ever.
case you were wondering, random stranger, I will be unable to make that social event.
God, yeah, because I was in July, and I think Extras came out whatever in September, October.
Yeah.
Yep, that adds up.
So bizarre.
There's no way I could see it the next day. It's that day, one time only.
I'm so glad that's not the case. Can you imagine if movie releases were
Dude.
like a 1 day thing, like concerts?
Yeah, that would be
Tickets would be a lot more expensive.
more expensive and and more like competitive as far as like trying to get them in advance, especially for something like Oppenheimer or Barbie,
Yeah.
or back when Marvel was like really on its game. I mean, I remember, I remember like trying to get in-game tickets. I was like, Jesus, the first 5 days were sold out.
They were selling that shit on eBay for like $1,000.
Yeah, and like that, yeah,
I remember that.
that's how you get that is, you make quality shit.
My theater for the Marvels opening night was like 30% filled.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
What
completely different now.
things change.
Whereas Barbie and Oppenheimer were like sold out for a week.
Yep. Documentary was probably the most poignant time of the evening. 20 Days in Mariupol won that one. And that is a very tough documentary about the early days of the Ukraine war against Russia, where Russia invaded Ukraine, acted like they weren't invading Ukraine, killed a lot of children, and then tried to play like Ukraine was the bad guy. The fuck.
Great speech.
Yeah, this comes right off the death of Alexei Navalny as well.
Which won last year?
Yeah,
Navalny. Yeah.
so, Ukraine is on the brain.
Yeah.
I didn't mean for that to sound insincere, but
No, yeah. That I need, man, you rented that on Vudu and I just fucking forgot.
I know
I was pissed because I love the documentary category. I've only seen one of them. It's fucking demoralizing. I love that category, so I usually try to see at least a few of them. I will one day knock those out because I'm always interested in the docs.
Me too, finally. And that was just a hard watch. It's one thing to hear about what's happening on the other side of the world. It's another thing to see it with your own eyes through the lens of people who were literally risking their lives and their futures to film this stuff and get it out of their country so the rest of the world could know what's really happening over there. Because Russia's been controlling the information about this war in Europe and trying to proclaim themselves liberators, which is fucked. And because of this, because of these guys, these brave journalists, this movie exists, and we can know.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, yeah, you have some
It's
time.
it's what the crap like that medium is for.
Yeah, this is what. Yeah, you don't see Super Size Me winning a documentary award. Like this is what it's for.
Yeah.
I'd watch that in health classes.
Super Size Me is something else.
Are you telling me that if you eat McDonald's every day, it's bad for you? Holy shit,
Yeah,
stop the presses.
But somehow, I haven't eaten McDonald's, because they're, they fund certain places that I don't really, want to like give money to. But
Okay.
I do love, like, when I was a kid, I loved me some McDonald's. So also when I watched that in, I think health class as well, when I was like in 7th grade, I remember just being like, I still want the nuggets. You know what I mean? And like they try to gross you out in that documentary. You're like,
I saw
fries are good.
When I watched that documentary, I basically had the idea of like, well, no shit, Sherlock, maybe don't eat it every day.
Yeah.
If you're eating the super size, if you're drinking, 3 gallons of Coke with
soda,
with like a sack of fries, and then you start throwing up, like, yeah, it's not McDonald's fault.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for you at all.
What turned me off of McDonald's for a while was this bit I heard this comedian talk about. His brother had a deadly chicken allergy.
Oh God.
But really wanted to try a McNugget, so he ate one on a whim, pulled out the EpiPen. Nothing happened to him.
Oh.
There wasn't enough chicken in the McNuggets to trigger an allergic reaction. That is some scary shit.
Dear God. What is in it? Yeah. Oh man.
Anyway, 20. Yeah.
McFlurries are good though.
I had a Shamrock Shake the other day. I got halfway through it before I was tired of it, and it's like I shouldn't have bought this.
You know what movie's good though is The Founder. Back to movies. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah,
Uh,
documentary. I've watched 20 Days in Mariupol. It's eye-opening, it's tragic, and it's important.
hmm.
Um, I loved the director, his speech about, uh, uh, films become memories and memory becomes history.
Oh, dude.
I love that. That was poignant as hell.
I'm like, is he talking to me?
Yeah. Film editing, another win for Oppenheimer.
Hmm.
Kind of, yeah, expected that.
Yeah, like obvious.
Flower Moon could have snaked this one, but Flower Moon got completely shut out because that's what happens to Scorsese. They give him a lot of, they give him the participation award, but they don't let him, win. It's happened for the past
We
like few
we
movies.
we all know how good he is, you know. I feel like he even is like, I don't need this shit. Like I'm fucking Scorsese. I have like 10 masterpieces. I'm good.
Yeah, it's yeah,
And the one you gave me picture for, Departed, is like my eighth best movie. You know, like he's that good. He's that important to American filmmaking. Everyone who goes up there talks about him because he's always there. You know, he's always just in the room. Like Cord Jefferson, when he won for American Fiction screenplay, adapted screenplay, he like pointed at Scorsese, like maybe the next Scorsese, you know, is well, no, because there's never going to be another Scorsese. But I see what he's saying.
yeah. You're when you're up against your heroes and you're just watching them, applaud for you. It's probably a pretty
Yeah.
surreal moment.
Yeah, same moment that Bong Joon-ho had now fucking 4 years ago.
Yeah. I bet his movie next year is going to make some play for the Oscars. I'm excited about what
hell yeah.
Mickey 17, I think it's called.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
Oh boy. Cannot wait.
Come on.
International feature film, Zone of Interest took this one.
Yeah.
A collaborative effort among Germany, Poland, and the UK, directed by Jonathan Glazer, and a film that I really couldn't get on board with, but the rest of the world has definitely gotten on board with.
Yeah, I loved it, man. I mean, I don't know. That's like a weird movie to say you love, but
I get what they were trying to do. I went in expecting a biopic of Rudolph Hess, and that's what I
oh
wanted to
yeah,
see.
it's an experimentation in sound, like sound design, production design, cinematography, and like vibes, like atmosphere.
I think if I'd known that, I would have appreciated a bit more. I think a second watch might help with this one, but
I loved it because I did know. You know, you had told me kind of what you felt about it. I went and saw it in theaters by myself. It was actually there was a decent amount of people there.
yeah.
And yeah, I was just like the score was like, whoa, man, this is daunting.
The ambient noise of screaming was
Yep. As like kids are like playing in a pool.
Yeah.
The perspective of that movie is yeah, I think it's a must see just because
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
I can see Criterion grabbing this up immediately.
Oh yeah.
I think
Yeah.
some of these films did get nabbed by Criterion. I remember
Anatomy of a Fall
Yeah.
already.
That makes sense.
They love them international movies, yeah.
They do.
Zone of Interest is right up their alley.
Oh yeah. Makeup. Poor Things, we talked about that. Original score, Oppenheimer again. Ludwig Göransson, who's quickly becoming one of my favorite composers working today.
He's dominant. Yeah.
One previous for Black Panther. He also scored The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett, two of my favorite scores that he did. And he's this young, unassuming, German?
I think he's from Sweden.
Swedish.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
This young European kid.
Yeah, I mean he's clearly got like American influence because he is conjuring up like the greats.
Yeah.
He's gonna be I don't want to like go too far, but I think, when you think about, the Hans Zimmers, the John Williams, and the, Thomas Newmans, I do think he's going to be doing this for a very long time. He's going to rack up nominations. He's going to rack up a lot of Emmys because he's so good with TV.
Yeah.
He's just built for this, and he's going to do it for a long, long time.
I have a lot of film scores on my iPod because I still have an iPod, and I was curious, like which film composer do I have the most on my iPod? Who has the most work? Nope, it's not Newman. It's not Williams. It's not Zimmer.
It's Ludwig.
It's John Carpenter.
Oh, well, yeah. What am I saying?
Yeah.
I'm like thinking way too Oscar right now.
I know. I was just surprised that they're like, oh yeah, it's Carpenter. Of course it's Carpenter.
Yeah.
He's got a new album coming out this year. I can't wait. It's called Lost Themes 4 Noir.
Yes.
He's been working with his kids and making some fucking grade A awesome instrumental music. Pick up that when you can.
Hell yeah.
Original song, What Was I Made For? From Barbie, Billie Eilish's second Oscar. She, according to my mom, who gave me this cool tidbit, at 22 years old, she is now the youngest two-time Oscar winner in history.
Insane.
Yeah.
And she ain't going nowhere. She's perfect. I don't like listen to a lot of her music in my own time. She's got a stellar voice and she
Yeah.
seems cool, you know?
Hmm.
Seems like a good hang, right? And her and her brother both seem like down to earth and pretty cool and like deserving of this, you know, this moment. And I mean, she's built for cinema, you know, like the power that she has,
Yeah.
but this like subtlety and this like beauty, you know, I don't know, you just kind of shut up and listen. I actually I had to like get up and go to the restroom when she started singing because not because I'm like a huge fan of hers, but because like I saw Barbie in theaters with my wife and then watched it maybe a month or two ago on Max and my daughter watched it. And when that song plays and they play the montage of like women shit and you like look at your daughter and you look at your wife like in the same room, it's like, oh
Mm.
man, like you know, it's one of those just kind of like, fuck me. Like this is
Yeah.
it's like why we watch movies, you know?
It's interesting because I don't have that emotional tether yet in my life. So I was very much just like, what about the Ken song? That was funny. Uh,
God, Ryan Gosling, dude. I just think, you know, like when people complain, kind of like, oh, why was he nominated for playing Ken? And even I think Christoph Waltz was struggling at times to find the words to describe his performance, like why he's there. I, I challenge anyone who else can play this role.
yeah.
Who else has the ability to be like he is that handsome. He is that charismatic. He's that funny. He's that poignant in other movies, right? Like Half Nelson, you know, or Place Beyond the Pines. And he can still like be a person, put his walls down, and just like entertain and dance and sing and be goofy as fuck. And kind of like put the mic, like his performance, putting the mic in Emma Stone's face and she sang with him. It was like that was the most interactive I've ever seen an original song performance at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Was it was because of Gosling.
It
It's not
was.
because of the song. It's not because of the movie. It's Ryan Gosling.
I was talking to somebody earlier, and Barbie could have gone one of two ways. It could have been a mildly amusing, forgettable, weekend comedy starring some people who were funny once upon a time.
And like hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Like
hot.
conventionally. Yeah. Yeah.
You give it to people like Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach,
Mm.
and it turns into a modern classic that was a $1 billion success and people are going to talk about forever.
Yep.
And Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling and America Ferrera, like they're a huge, huge part of that. And it was a goofy movie made with the respect that a drama would get, which is tough to pull off. And I don't think enough people appreciate that.
Yeah. And I don't think people who, you know, like you and I, we can recall, you know, once upon a time, it happened one night, and screwball comedies
Mm,
did really well in the I like the at the Oscars and would like dominate and win and get acting nominations, and then those became less popular as we got into like the late 60s and 70s, and musicals became less popular with the Oscars, and it got more serious. You know, it got more like who's really honing in and doing dramatic stuff.
yeah.
I like when a movie like Barbie gets like some spotlight. I like when a movie like The Holdovers, which is fucking funny at times, or it reminded me of Little Miss Sunshine, like those movies that kind of teeter the line of the dramedy.
Yeah.
And I feel like Barbie did such a good job. I love Barbie. I already think it's underrated as far as a movie. Obviously, it made a ton of money and got some nominations here, and people are going to talk about it. But I think as a film, it's fucking dynamite. And rewatching it at home helped me kind of realize that.
Beautiful. Yeah, I've only seen it the one time. But it's something I definitely would watch again. Be a fun movie for our new project we're thinking about.
Yeah, for sure. It'll come up. Yeah. Greta. I love how how much they all adore her. Everyone that works with her is just like, dude, she's the greatest. Like, I want to work with her. I want to work with Greta and Noah. Like, fuck, man, they sound like a blast. Like, they just seem like everybody loves them and is like, oh, they're geniuses. I just want to know what that's like.
I know. Yeah, it's fun to see like everyone go to bat for her not getting nominated for director, and like she's the only one who didn't say anything about that. Everyone else was
He
like,
said, so man, no, I can't recall what interview it was. She was like, I did. Went for screenplay.
I love that. Yeah, that's perfect.
She's like, what do you like? Come on, like everybody goes nuts over
A nomination's a
and
nomination.
let's I'm gonna say this.
Oop.
This is tough. There's 5 spots. Who are you taking out? Justin
Um,
Trier probably gets taken out, and she's the
probably.
other woman. So like that whole
I would take Marty out.
me personally, yes, I would keep Justine in there no matter what.
No.
But like the way this works, like a lot of people wanted Leo up.
Yeah.
The guy who kind of like slid in last minute was Coleman Domingo. Do you
Yep.
want him out?
No.
Probably not, right? Probably not, because he's awesome and he's fucking Coleman Flamingo. He he's the man. Like
Yeah.
everybody loves him. So you always have to remember there's 5 spots.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go that hard about snub, 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 you have to pick one to take out.
You can't please everybody. You can't, everyone's got their favorite movie, and when their favorite movie doesn't make it into their favorite spot, they're gonna get pissy.
Yeah, you know what? The Iron Claw didn't get shit, and I was sobbing at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
I'll be okay, and the movie will be okay because I'm gonna watch the shit out of it for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like Sean Durkin you're good, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, she was up for screenplay and picture. So
Yeah,
why don't we all calm down?
yeah. I don't like that. Like I would have taken out Annette Bening for Margot Robbie.
Mm.
I just thought like who's doing that? Like who's doing what Margot Robbie's same as Ryan Gosling being up for supporting actor. I'm just like I don't see anybody who can play Barbie this well. Like,
No.
Margot is it.
I'll never forget when this was first announced. Like Amy Schumer had the role. I'll never forget that.
Yikes.
You imagine what this movie would have been.
Yeah.
uh,
A train wreck. Uh,
that well played. Well played.
I do love Bill Hader in that movie though, so that's tough. And LeBron's in that movie. He's actually kind of funny.
I have not seen it because I don't like Amy Schumer.
It's not great,
Yep.
as you'd expect.
Very good
Do
advertising.
we want to skip this one?
Yes.
All right. So we already talked about production design.
Sound.
Yeah, sound. Perfect.
Zone of Interest took this one.
Yep. Yep.
Makes sense. It sounds horrifying. It's the
Right from the get-go. The movie starts and you're like, it's just like one,
I think I described it in my review on Letterboxd as like the waiting room music in hell.
Yeah. Like I don't know. When you're in the theater and the screen is just red.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was like, did the film break? Yeah.
It honestly unsettles you and it gets you kind of ready for this is nothing. You
And
think of red screen stuff? Wait till you see what like this movie's about to be.
Yeah, and admittedly, a film about the Holocaust should not be a fun evening at the movies. It's a self-reflective, poignant moment of one of the worst things mankind's ever done to one another. So, you don't get a burger and be like, this is gonna be fun. You go there kind of like this is gonna hurt.
Yeah, there's a scene where there's Nazis talking about 500, 1,000 people being like batches. Then we'll do the next 500. We'll do the next 5. And that's when you're like, okay, I've never seen a perspective like this. I've never seen it be not sympathetic, but be
Apathetic.
Totally in their shoes.
Yeah.
Never once are we the only time we get to see someone who we're like rooting for is that when it's the negative at nighttime. And there's that girl who escapes, the Jewish girl who escapes, and is like putting apples in different places where the people work. And there's no speaking, there's no talking, there's no dialogue. It's all sound and images. That's the only time where we're like, I hope she doesn't get caught.
When you're gonna film a movie about the Holocaust from the perspective of the commandant of Auschwitz,
yeah,
you're gonna have a movie that has no soul, has no feeling. This was numbers to them.
Oh yeah, and like they have like meetings.
Yeah,
like it's just business, and we know this because it's been years now, and we know these things. But this is why movies are so important: is that when they put those images on screen and there's dialogue, as if what they're doing is right or what they're doing is just normal day, it's everyday life.
Yeah,
that's the amazing part of the movie is holy shit. There's been so many World War II related movies, nothing quite like Zone of Interest.
Yeah, I will give it that. I think I am being too hard. I gotta watch this again.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, if I would have gone into it thinking I was getting what you thought you were getting, I also would have been like, God damn it. Like,
yeah,
because it is an art house movie. It is like a buckle up. This is not going to be one where you're like, bright eyed looking at the screen. It's going to be one of those like, oh, Jesus.
Another good one to tackle on our possible new project.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yes, harsh movie, well deserved for sound. Visual effects. This was my favorite one because finally Godzilla got an Oscar. I can't believe that happened. Godzilla -1 was, in my opinion, the best film of 2023. I loved that movie to death. I thought it was the most brilliant
Oh man.
character drama I've seen in years that Godzilla happened to be in. And that was just stunning. And the movie was made on like $15 million and is the most incredible Godzilla we've ever gotten. It looks amazing. Godzilla has depth as a character. He's legitimately scary. This movie fucking ruled, and I'm so glad it's an Oscar-winning movie now. Godzilla minus one. Beautiful. I can't wait to see what the guy who did this does next, because he was a fan of Godzilla who got to make a Godzilla movie, and that's when you get good shit.
Yeah, this is a bonkers category. There's Napoleon, Mission Impossible 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
Mhm.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, The Creator, and the winner, Godzilla minus one. Oh man, yeah, I haven't seen this yet, and I cannot wait. I remember we did a 2023 draft episode, and you, Caleb, and Adam were all just like, "Oh my God, dude, this movie rules!" And for you three to be put into like the same box, liking the same movie,
Yeah.
is like, okay, this must be good. And and I know it's good. It's got like a 4.2 on Letterboxd, crazy high scores across the board. Everyone who's seen it is like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
and my favorite thing about it is what you pointed out, the low, pretty modest budget
Yeah.
to make a movie with a monster is something I cannot wait to see. Very definitely regret not seeing it in theaters.
When I saw it, like I almost didn't see this. Caleb was the one who suggested we do it on First Thoughts, and I had a screening near me at my draft house, and I thought, well,
Fuck it.
they haven't made a good Godzilla movie in a very long time, so I was like, well, all right,
Let's
whatever.
check it out. Yeah.
And then I was watching this haunting film about survivor's guilt at the end of World War II in Japan, about a country who didn't know what the hell they were fighting for and what they were dying for, and coming to terms with that in the aftermath of a destroyed country. And then Godzilla shows up, and you're like, fuck. Like, before we even met Godzilla, I was like, this is beautiful. And then it just got better.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Can't wait to see where this lands. Should be pretty soon. It'll land somewhere.
Yeah.
I might even rent it soon if I have to. So
The second it's on Blu-ray, I'm grabbing it, and
Yeah.
then hopefully it comes with a code.
throw it on the voodoo.
Yep, that's what I do.
Hell yeah.
Adapted screenplay went to American Fiction,
Awesome.
which was just delightful. That movie was so. I love a good satire. I love a movie that plays with society's expectations of race, and this movie was just so. Just from naming the book "fuck" to him like
Fuck. Yeah.
pulling his novels out of the black authors section in the bookstore. It's just perfect. This was great.
Yeah, brilliant. My favorite bit from American Fiction is when it's gonna sound weird, but bear with me. And it's not really a spoiler. It's toward the beginning of the movie. It's the first time we really get to meet Sterling K. Brown's character, Cliff, and it's when their sister dies.
Hmm.
And they're having kind of like a little thing on the beach, and that Philip, that guy comes up, and Cliff, Sterling K. Brown's like, "Fuck you, Philip," and then Jeffrey Wright, Thelonious Monk is such a fucking cool name, obviously for the musician, but also it's like the fact that his name is Thelonious and everyone nicknames him Monk is so cool. I love that touch.
Yeah.
I love when he's like, "God damn it, Philip, you've always been a douchebag." Like Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown, like, please give me more movies with those two guys in it together. They were unbelievable. Their chemistry is unmatched, unrivaled. The comedic tone, how quickly they can go to dramatic.
Yeah.
And you give them a script like this, a screenplay like this, oh boy, like they're gonna eat that shit up. I loved American Fiction.
The scene where Jeffrey Wright has to convince like the money guy that he's the real deal, and he's in the restaurant. He's like kind of like
with his glass, he takes his glasses off. Yeah,
and the guy's like, "What did you kill somebody?" He's like, "You said it, not me."
Yeah,
like just trying to come off as badass. God damn it.
And it's fucking Brody, Adam Brody. Yeah. Everyone was cast really well.
Yeah.
When they do the best casting category, this is the movie I would choose for this year.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Very nice.
Because I don't think that means the best movie, right?
No, I mean,
it's all about curating like the best like group of talent that makes sense for your movie.
Yeah.
And I think American Fiction just like knocked that shit out of the park.
Yeah, I could see that.
Issa Rae was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was fun. And then original screenplay went to Anatomy of a Fall.
Yes.
Which
I'm so glad it won something.
Yeah, and the music, fucking PIMP playing as they go up to accept was
Brilliant.
fucking cool.
Brilliant touch. Ah, man, yeah. That movie is a wicked screenplay that bounces around three different languages. Yeah, I love it to death. I think those like courtroom scenes are unbelievable, you know. Some probably my favorite parts of the movie, but even from the very beginning, man, like Anatomy of a Fall with PIMP playing in the background,
Yeah.
and she's talking to that reporter, you're just like, oh man, like I'm in a movie right now. This is like a properly well-made, well-crafted, well-written movie. And I love Anatomy of a Fall. So glad it won something.
I kept the whole time I was watching that movie, I kept thinking of the line from Training Day. It's not about what you know, it's about what you can prove.
Mm,
I was just like, fuck yeah, movie. This shit's cyclical, man. I love it.
yeah, dude.
Everything influences everything else,
Yep.
even if it's on a subconscious level, and you may not even be aware of it.
Yeah, dude. This is a good group though. Outside of, I would take Maestro out.
Yeah, Maestro got the shaft. I think a deserved shaft.
Fair enough. Yeah, the most Oscar baity movie of the entire
Yeah.
ceremony.
It's funny how Bradley Cooper almost became like the bad guy of this Oscar season
Yeah.
because of how he came across as super pompous with his approach to Leonard Bernstein. You know, saying shit like, "Oh, he lived in me the whole time. I never met the man, but I loved him like a brother." And I'm like, "What the
Yeah.
hell, Brad?
Just doing too much, man, you know.
Stop it."
Really doing the whole Warren Beatty thing. Like I'm
Ugh.
the writer, director, and the star. But Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, May December, which is the only nomination that movie got, and that's a great screenplay. And Past Lives, that those four movies rule.
How did May December end up in the comedy category at the Globes?
Not funny, not a funny
It's a
movie.
movie about rape.
Yeah, I mean it is like satirical in its own
I didn't
way.
I didn't see it as satire. I saw it as very straight.
I saw it as satirical in its style, where like you know how like David Fincher knows he's David Fincher and he's like, I'm gonna fuck with you. Like when he made The Killer, it's very much like I'm gonna give you what you want, like almost to a T, like where it's almost annoying. I feel like May December because like the music and how dramatic it got at moments, it was kind of playing with that like true crime, kind of like this is like that Netflixy thing that you like housewives want,
Yeah.
but it's way higher quality and all that shit. I felt that the whole time I was watching it, especially with the score.
So it was like a big budget Lifetime movie.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
fucking Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman.
I can see that. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair.
I thought May December ruled, man. I wanted it to be up for way more shit.
I didn't know what it was about when I started watching
Neither
it.
did I.
I got sucked in with like this is an insane,
Yep.
sick premise. That
And then you're
apparently,
like, oh, it's real.
yeah, it's true. Like that really happened. And the guy slowly realizing that his entire life is a lie, that he's been manipulated since he was 13
Yeah.
to come to terms with that shit. Oh my God. Yeah, what a movie, man.
Yeah, what a wild story. And yeah, everyone's great in it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is a good movie.
Past Lives also got shut out. That only got 2 nominations.
Yeah. But it's up for two very competitive. It's up for original screenplay and picture. Like you're just not gonna win those, you know? Like
Nah.
it's not happening.
Picture ended up going to Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
In a very much ironically, the movie about the atomic bomb was kind of a whimper, not a bang.
Yeah.
And Al Pacino just kind of casually opened the envelope and was like, I think it's Oppenheimer.
Yeah. You know, I can forgive him. Like, I've already got a bunch of texts like, oh, Al botched the shit out of that. I'm like, yeah, but he's Al Pacino. Like, I just don't really. What was cool for me and for you is Godfather Part 2 hit its 50-year anniversary.
Mhm.
You and I just did an episode on it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, we love that movie to death. We love Al Pacino. We love Michael Corleone. And hearing the music and hearing, like, seeing him walk on stage was like, I don't really care what he does. Like, he fucked it up, but whatever, you know. I can forgive him.
At least
he's Al Pacino.
At least you read the right movie out. That's the best, you know.
Yeah, Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway 7 years ago, like really fucked it up. So
Yeah, Kimmel even made a joke about it. Like that's not no one's living that down ever.
no, it was bad.
It was
So
embarrassing.
much so where like the producers of La La Land went on stage and were like, oh no, it's Moonlight. You know, that was bad. It was really bad.
Can you imagine, like, you're halfway through your Oscar speech, you have your moment, you're holding your statue, and somebody whispers in your ear, "You didn't actually win,"
Yeah.
and you got to be like, "Oh, actually, you get up here. This is yours."
I see Oppenheimer in the envelope. Yeah.
God, yeah.
I mean, he's like 85. I just whatever.
He looks like melted ice cream.
I love him.
I love him too, but Jesus.
9-time nominated. One win for Scent of a Woman.
After the whole Dunkachino thing, I think he should have retired.
I also have a soft spot for Al Pacino because um there's this coffee shop that me, my wife, and my daughter will go to. I'm like a straight like black coffee. I like straight coffee. But my daughter, there's this drink that they make that's like doesn't have caffeine in it or anything. It's like a fake cappuccino, but she calls it a pacino. Willow does. So I always think of fucking hoo-ah!
Oh my God.
I always think of Al Pacino when like we go to this place so that Willow can get her cappuccino, but her pacino. And now I call it that. I'm like, Willow, you want to get a pacino? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah, Al Pacino, you're never gonna die. You live on. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die.
If they could somehow figure out a way for like the steam milk to make like a wow noise, that'd be the perfect drink.
Oh God, so good.
That's the Oscars. 96th Academy
It was
Award.
fun.
Very, good variety. I think everything that kind of deserved it got some love in the right places. With a few exceptions. That's always going to happen. Now it's time to start ramping shit up for the 97th.
Yeah, honestly, and we're already underway because fucking Dune Part 2 came out, and that shit is going to fucking ride out the year.
Yeah, this year we've got potential films from Paul Thomas Anderson, from Bong Joon-ho. Like, it's going to be a competitive show next year. I'm excited.
Yeah. If all the release dates kind of stay true and everything goes correctly with post-production, we could see another like stacked year. And oh boy, is that exciting!
That's what we need.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. Always fun to watch the Oscars, report about them back here. Kind of feels like almost like we're ending a season of a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, it does. It does feel kind of like it feels like now we're starting 2024.
Yeah.
It's fucking mid-March.
Limbo's over. Now we can pay attention.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for listening. We'll have some content for you this week, as always. And go check these films out. If you haven't seen them, I don't want them to just stay locked in 2023. These are some amazing movies.
Yeah, and a lot of them are now on something streaming service or whatever, or rent for cheap that you have access to. So yeah, get to them.
100%. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.